Hey y'all, I'm not sure how good or coherent of a video this is going to be, but I thought I'd like to lay down some of my thoughts on just where I'm at currently in my walk. And I've been about half a year now homeless, almost half a year now. And then the other half was, serving the homeless. uh, so I guess that maybe this will be like a review of sorts. And I apologize for the hoarseness of my voice. I'm still getting over a cold that I picked up last week. I'm going through a what they would call a dry season or a dry portion of your season, where I know that God's there. I have absolutely no doubt that I'm being looked out for, watched over, and that I've been on a very supernatural journey, for lack of any better way to put it. Some of it I've alluded to in my videos about blessings that have come my way. There's some things that I have not talked about at all, and I'm not sure when or how I'll talk about some of those things, which are just, they're hard still, even for me to wrap my head around in terms of some of the things that I've been shown, that I've seen, especially since I became homeless. Um, I think that as much as again, it's always tempting to say that the devil's at work, right? The devil is attacking me, and he's that God feels distant. I don't think it's not always that. I feel, in fact, I feel like we give the devil too much credit and due sometimes in our walk. I feel like God is always trying to, even though He already knows ultimately if your name is in the book of life or not. One of the ways I feel as if He may strengthen a man's faith is by testing it in these desert trials where it feels as if that man and the Lord are distant from one another or disconnected. Because then I have to really turn to Him even when I don't always necessarily feel it or feel His presence as strongly, especially when there's still ongoing doubt as to how I'll take care of my next meals or how I'll fill up a tank of gas to get to and from places. And then your mind starts to wonder, well, you know, did you take Luke 12:33 a little too seriously? That thought comes in, and I know I didn't. I know I haven't misunderstood what it is I've stepped out to do here. In fact, I've tried the play it safe route multiple times now, where I tried to make enough money to play life safely and to just sort of have a normal life, pay the rent, pay some bills. And I literally never was number one, able to even make enough trying to do that. But also, every time that I got close to the goals of where it felt like things might go that way, the the phenomenon that started this channel would start rearing its head again. It started in December of 2024. I don't know what to make of it all, man. Many of us who have gone through this stuff, you know, we've basically kissed the flames of hell in life. And I'm not a victim. Don't take this as a rant of oh poor me or I don't want your pity. I don't need anyone's pity. You know, my strength does come from the Lord, and all I'm doing is staying out here in faith, knowing that He's creating the job resume that I'm going to need for the kind of work that I actually want to do and the kind of work that I love. And that is helping people, charity. And one of the ways that you have to make your bones doing that is by number one, knowing what it's like to be in that demographic. That's key. And also, I feel like you have to, this is just my own sense, especially when you're working for the kingdom of God, you have to prove that you're not here for money. Do I want money? I want money in the sense that what money will offer is the freedom to bless other people. That's it. You know, all I would do is point blank. The only thing I would change about my current living situation right now is that I would add a shower, a toilet, and a microwave or an oven or something. And I'm good. I do not need more than that. I don't care, you know, because I plan to burn up my life in service to the point where this is merely just a place where I come and lay my head anyway. It doesn't matter, you know. So, but if money is your goal in terms of just acquiring a bunch of things, playing life safe, what a boring, stupid life. I've tried that plenty of times. It doesn't work. It won't work for you either. So if you're going through what we call gang stalking, which is spiritual warfare in 2025, welcome. Welcome to the reality of things. Where unclean spirits and people, for some of us anyway, seem to always react. Although I know that I still don't fully grasp this thing, and I'm okay with that anymore. I know I'm on the right path with the Lord. And if you're going through that as well, to finish the thought that I had there, um, you're going to have to try something different than you've ever tried in your life. You're playing it safe out the window. So you might as well start stepping out on faith. Because number one, you're going to start encountering, especially if you have to step out on faith on behalf of the Lord, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. When you start to do that, you start to interact with the heavens all around you. You'll go through dry spells, you'll get tested greatly. Expect all of that. Expect to have your faith tested in ways that sometimes when you put your head to the pillow at night seem almost cruel even. But then you have to admit and say, well, but every day you wake up, you're like, I'm stronger again. I'm stronger. I'm such a different man than I was last year in December, frankly. We're getting around the 1 year mark where I decided to take St. Pierre Giorgio Forssetti's uh, phrase, verso al alto, ascend to the heights, literally. How am I doing on that? Uh, you know, I've not tried to conform yet. You know, it's not a pride thing. It's just what would be the point? Just getting a safe 9 to 5 when there's actually such a need out there for people to be rolling up their sleeves and serving a demographic of people who most people are yelling at them to conform or ignoring altogether. And the truth of the matter is, a lot of people that are stuck in homelessness, as much as you want to scream at them and say, get a job, loser, lazy, some of these people are just never going to function at that level again. A lot of people on the street, yes, some people can be restored. Matter of fact, every human soul can be restored through the Lord. But some people, you know, they've been forgotten by everyone. Like they're the last of their family line, even a lot of times. No mother, no father, no brothers, no sisters, nobody that seems to care. Literally, that's who the homeless are. I love working with that population because I love to see the smiles on people's faces, and I love to when I give them one of these. I have to tell you, man, the homeless are so receptive to the rosary, to Our Lady, to Christ. I said in one of my other videos, I asked one of the homeless men early on, I said, why is Jesus so important to you? This was probably January or February of this past year. Why is Jesus so important to you? Because I was remarking to him in conversation, the homeless seem to love Christ always. It's interesting because he's all we have. That's what he said. And it totally made sense to me. So I don't know where we're going with this. I just know that a year in, I'm just as committed as I was a year ago, a bit more tired, a bit more desiring just a little more stability, and yet knowing eh, you're strong enough. You'll get through, you know. That I'm even blessed with this little place right now. Blessed. After 6 months of sleeping in my van like I was in a coffin, which even that was a blessing. Because there's men and women on the street right now that have nothing, nothing at all. Some of them have frozen their butts off most recently. I worry about what some of these people had to go through when it snowed. Thankfully, it's warming up just a little bit, but that's not going to be the last of the season. That's why I'm in it. That's why I have skin in the game. I got skin in the game now. And probably the reason why I found this last week challenging, as much as it's been nice to just kind of relax and hang out in this new place, and I've been, by necessity, having to recover from this sickness that I've had, I don't like just hanging out, being decommissioned for a little while. Because if I'm not volunteering somewhere, I want to be making food and taking it out to the homeless. That's what I want to do. Until God appoints me into a place or into a position or a role, wherever it may be, to where I can have an even larger impact on the population that I'm trying to serve. Thanks for listening to my rant. Um, I keep doing this in every video, but it is a necessity. Uh, Nothing came in from the video earlier I made today. So if you would like to support me in any way to help make sure that the wheels keep going on this, I've got car insurance coming up and all kinds of things that I need to take care of. You can send money to my Cash App at 1 Peter 412 Bible. That's 1 Peter 412 Bible on Cash App. I'll come up as Adam Tebby, and that'll allow me to pay for car insurance, gas, buy food for the lunches that I would hand out, and just little odds and ends for the place too that I still need, like a microwave and what was the other thing? Oh, vacuum. I could use a vacuum cleaner actually. I forgot to put that on the video earlier. Anyway, thanks for listening to me rant. God bless you all in Jesus' name. Pray the rosary. You know, I need to start saying that at the end. Pray your rosary 3 times a day. At a minimum, pray it once a day. And if you really want it to help you in your life, pray it 3 times a day or more. The more, the merrier. Some of the saints, like Saint Padre Pio, I think he was known to pray 36 times a day, or if it wasn't per day, some days he would pray it that many times. That's wild. That's wild. Goals, right? Aspirations. This is one for the St. Michael chaplet, by the way. If you're looking at it and you're saying that's a little different. All right. God bless you all in Jesus' name. Have a good night.